Hi guys, Joe Protocol here. Welcome back to another tip in drum and bass production on the deeper, darker, rolling end of the drum and bass spectrum. It's been a few months since my last video, but I'm really happy to be back to go over this topic of funk in drum and bass production, because I like funk personally on a kind of music taste level, and I like to introduce funk into some of my productions. So to go through this tip today, I'm going to be using a plugin called the Shaper Box by Cable Guys, which has become a bit of a standard plugin amongst producers like myself looking to do filter sweeps and similar effects like this. It's a really useful plugin. But before I jump into the video today, if you're enjoying the work I'm doing and want to give a financial contribution, then head to my Bandcamp, grab some of the music I have there, grab a sample pack or the Vital preset pack I recently released. Or if you're looking to dive deeper into drum and bass production with your own music and are looking for a personal tutor, I also provide personal tuition sessions in this area. Whether you're a beginner or slightly more advanced, I can make a tailored set of sessions around your learning needs and exactly what you want to learn. Otherwise, just hit like on the video, hit subscribe, because this helps push the video to more people on YouTube. Share it with some other producers you know. But let's jump into this tip now. So thinking about funk and where it comes from. When we hear the term funk, we think about music from the 70s. We think about artists like Funkadelic and I guess more famously James Brown. So where does funk come from? It doesn't come from the guitar they play themselves. It very often comes from a particular guitar pedal called a wah-wah pedal, which is just a pedal that guitarists would move up and down like this. And that up and down motion moves a filter which sweeps across the frequency range in their guitar. This filter is very much a bandpass filter with quite a sharp resonance. So when that moves across the frequency spectrum, you get that typical wah-wah, waka-waka style effect. This can be quite easily recreated in DAWs. It doesn't sound exactly like a James Brown guitar, but it produces a very similar effect. And using the Cable Guys Shaper Box filter is just a really good way to kind of shape this bandpass filter on like a typical kind of mid-range sounding drum and bass hit. So let's dive into Ableton now, and I'm going to show you how to recreate this in Ableton. So here we are in Ableton. I've just gone ahead and found a sound from my sample pack called Bass 35F. It sounds a little something like this. Exactly a kind of typical aggressive mid-range sound, which we're going to add some funk to. So first thing I'm going to do is find a copy of the Cable Guys Shaper Box 3. And when you load it up, this is what you see. You've got a couple of different shaper tools. You can shape the drive over time, you can shape the volume over time, pan, etc. But we're going to go for the filter because the wah is a filter sweep. When you open it up, first thing you see is a couple of bands. So you can introduce a couple of bands here. We're just going to go for the one band because we want it to sweep across the whole frequency spectrum to get that funk sound. Here's where you can choose your filter type. So you've got a couple of different filters here, your typical kind of filters. And if we're looking for funk, I'm going to go for quite a sharp, a 24 decibel curve band pass. Here we've got cutoff and resonance. And that's the kind of filter shape we're looking for, like quite a sharp peak band pass. And what you see down here is you see this kind of like light moving line across here. This is essentially how you can shape the filter movement over time. And this is why it's a really good plugin for this, because it gives us that kind of up and down movement like we have on the pedal, but over time here. So a couple of other kind of notable features of this plugin is obviously the mix. So you can dial in how you want your dry and wet mix. You've got a stereo control here. And this chooses your timing basically. So we've got like a straight 1 bar movement at the moment. So every bar, this is going to do like a filter sweep. You can obviously go for 1/8, which moves it much quicker. and vice versa. 2 bars, it's a much slower movement. So let's start dialing in some movement in this bandpass filter with this bass sound. Exactly, so by itself it doesn't really have that funk sound. It actually sounds a bit radio-like. So what I want to do is I want to shape the filter over time. So you click here, you can create a node, and then you can start dialing it exactly. So now you see that filter moving left to right at the top. And this is how we get the funk. That's nice. So we can dial in some additional movement here. Just to be clear, we are dialing in the movement on the frequency cutoff, and that moves it left to right along the frequency spectrum. There we go. Maybe we want a bit more resonance over time as well. Exactly. I'm going to move this filter down a little bit, and when I move down the cutoff, it moves down the whole frequency sweep. Exactly. Once you've done that, what I can recommend you doing is setting up a separate track in Ableton and setting the input from the sound. And when we record this, now we've got an individual hit here, and we can go back into the shaper box and just create these different hits. So there's one of them. We can do a slightly bigger sweep like we had before. Exactly, and that's how you can create different hits. And when you introduce a drum into this, then you're on the way to like a kind of much funkier sounding drum and bass track. So yeah, that was it. That's the tip. I hope you find some inspiration from it. Grab a copy of the shaper box, grab something from my Bandcamp, hit like on the video, hit subscribe, and share this to anybody who you think might find this interesting. And I'll see you in the next one.